Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2020 Puma Regiment kickoff meeting. Thanks for taking the time to join us this evening. It's one of our favorite times of the year, and the information provided in this presentation is meant to prepare you for the upcoming season. Understand the expectations of marching band and get hyped for another awesome production. My name is Brandon Kiesgen. I'm the Director of Bands at Perry, joined by the Associate Director of Bands, Ben Sampayan.
Hi, everyone.
So, why marching band? Why do people join this activity? Most people say because it's fun, but what makes it fun? The intangibles are consistently the things students mention when they talk about why they love marching band. Coordinating 100 people to one common goal in a live performance is no small feat and requires working with other members on a deep level. Engaging in this activity requires our students to learn communication skills, dependence on others dependence on them, and time management skills. Through this, they receive unforgettable friendships and unique performance opportunities. It's the human experience all wrapped up in a cool field show and lots of painstaking hours of commitment. The other element is the physical fitness. Marching band doesn't always get the credit it deserves when it comes to being physically demanding. It's one thing to just do physical activity, but it's another to do coordinated physical activity. The blending of performance art with the athleticism of competitive sports is what makes it truly unique. Students need to enter the experience with an understanding that there will be physical demands placed on their bodies that are not familiar. It is through this process that they learn things such as coordination, spatial awareness, efficiency, importance of physical health, and what they are truly capable of as human beings. Now we can talk about the what we do. We are a co-curricular ensemble within the school district, and that means that we are accredited course, but also function outside of the normal school hours. We are a competitive marching band, which means we compete for scores and rankings. While that does not define us, it is motivating and crucial to driving improvement throughout the season and year after year. And we are a community performance ensemble. We perform at school assemblies, grand opening events, TV spots, parades to bring people together through our performance. Getting onto the schedules. Marching band is a large time commitment. Understanding the schedules ensures that we can function and meet our goals efficiently. So starting with our camp schedule, you can see them here listed here, starting with a rookie and guard camp. This is our camp is for fundamentals for all brand new members and the color guard members. And this is currently scheduled for July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd from 12 p.m. To 4 p.m. on those days. And the purpose of this is just to get the very brand new people acclimated to all the new stuff they're going to be learning and ready for the full camp. Full camp week 1 and week 2 occur after that. These are full day rehearsals during week 1 camp. And we eat lunch. And so we have a morning block, we have lunch in the middle of the day, and then we have an afternoon block. And then the students are able to come home in the evening. And then the whole process repeats from day to day. The next one is the second week of camp. It's a little bit modified. We only have 2 evening rehearsals that week and a showcase at the end to show parents, family, friends, all of our stuff that we've worked on during the camp. Another camp that we have, it's important to note, is in the fall break camp. This one occurs later in the season, and this is when we finish the show production and prepare for our competitions, which is all that in the month of October and finishing out in November. Again, the attendance at all of these camps and rehearsals is required. It's essential that we have good attendance so that the students, as was mentioned earlier, depend on each other. And when they're not there, it has a big impact. Our regular rehearsal schedule is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Tuesdays, we have 5 p.m. to 8:45 p.m. This is our longer night rehearsals, we call it. We get a lot of big picture things done there, like large chunks of drill and choreography, and putting that on the field. It goes to 8:45 because that allows the students until about 9 o'clock to finish putting away their equipment and getting everything put away. So I would recommend being there more like around 9 to pick up your student from these evening practices. On Thursday is more of it's a different time. At the beginning of the year, we use it a lot for music rehearsals. And then as the year progresses and we have more of our show on the field, that time then becomes additional field time as we get later into the season. And that is Thursday from 2:30 to 5:30. In addition to those regular weekly schedules, we also have our Saturday practices that are interspersed between the first 2 months there of August and September. And these rehearsals are only 7 to noon. And so we have them in the morning. The nice thing about them too is that they're on the weekend. So it kind of takes out some of the extra stress during the school week from school classes and all that. And we're able to get a large amount of the drill and the show and everything put out there right at the very beginning of the season. And that gives us a really good start before we get to the fall break camp that was mentioned earlier. Now on to the performance schedule. This is what we currently have as far as the performance schedule. Starting with the first column there, we have all of our scheduled varsity football games. As you can see, some of them are away, and which means that we're traveling to the school, and some are at home where we're staying right at Perry. You'll notice that when we get to November, the dates are to be determined. So depending on how the football team is doing, we could have further football dates that extend into the month of November. Band competitions. I mean, this is a big thing for us. This is where we get to go and have our performance in front of judges and adjudicators and family, and they get to watch us. And this is what we really work towards. So we start off with our first competition right at the beginning of September there. And then we have our fall break camp. And then as soon as we come back from fall break, it's pretty much competitions every weekend and all that. Some key things to point out there is one of our bigger trips that we're taking this semester is going up to the Bands of America competition that's currently scheduled up at NAU in Flagstaff. And they have an indoor sky dome up there, and it's a really neat experience. Then the remainder of them are kind of all around. But at these different shows, we go and we compete with different groups that are in our classification. And then finally, ending with the AZMBA Championships in November 14th. And then on our last column there, we have the parades. Typically, we only do this one parade every year. Sometimes there could be other opportunities that come up. But the Chandler Light Parade is one of those big community events that is really great for us to show up to and to give visibility for us in the band program and just help our community have a great time. Probably the biggest question on your minds right now is how does the COVID-19 impact the season? This is definitely a moving target, and we've developed several plans in order to adapt to varying situations. Plan A is business as usual with subtle changes in camp procedures, which will be communicated in more detail as we get closer. Plan B would entail a more reduced band camp or no band camp at all, possibly a later start date for the season. I hope we don't have to get to this point, but Plan C would involve no 2020 marching band season, and winter programs will begin as early as possible, with the addition of winter winds to make up for potentially lost marching season. And lastly, Plan D is that schools don't open and we're forced online, at which point we just accept that and we have to continue to focus on our individual skills to the best of our ability and what we can do with the resources that we have. We certainly hope we don't get to that point, but that would also mean that our 2020 show would be postponed to the 2021 season. So what does it look like financially to make these things happen? The overall fee for the entire season of marching band is $500. That is broken up into two categories with the school district to determine the cost for the season. The $300 participation fee covers our instructional staff primarily, followed by show design elements such as music, arrangements, licensing rights, prop construction, and equipment. The $200 competition fee covers transportation costs to all season events, in addition to event registrations, rental trucks, and equipment and uniform costs. While the fees have seemingly increased since last year, it is important to note a new way that our booster organization is actually reducing the overall cost for all of our members compared to the past years. Historically, there was an additional $90 band camp fee and a $90 season meal plan that was paid by the member on the equipment ordering night, along with the other additional equipment. Well, I'm pleased to announce that the boosters are now paying the $90 season meal plan and taking $50 off the band camp fee, resulting in only a $40 band camp fee to each member. Just to give you an idea of the scope of of the impact our booster program has, there are approximately 100 members in the band. By covering $140 in costs to each member, the boosters are contributing a significant $14,000 to the overall cost of the season to ensure a consistent experience among every member of the ensemble. Additional costs to consider that are not included in the student fees are personal items such as t-shirts, gloves, wristbands, gym shorts, socks, undergarments, and the travel uniform. These will all be listed on the equipment order form. If you are a brand new student to the program, expect to pay a little more that first year as you purchase the necessary equipment items for the very first time. The equipment order will be made available to you during band camp during the equipment ordering sessions. We are also, with this, transitioning to a new two-payment system. The first 50% of the season fees are required to begin participation in the first quarter of the season. The majority of our financial demands, such as uniform purchases, show registrations, and staff payroll, occur at the beginning of the season, and lack of funds inhibits this process, directly impacting our students. We understand that with the current uncertainty that this could change. In the event that we are unable to hold band camp in July, the first payment will be delayed to the first official day of marching band season, whenever it begins, and we will communicate immediately when we know the specifics. The second 50% of the fees are also required to be paid before participation in performances and field trips, and this happens in the second half of the season. The timing of this final payment is important to the overall health of the band, to ensure we can get all the necessities paid for during the busy competition season, such as the transportation needs and continuing staff payroll. If you are experiencing financial hardship that hinders the ability of your student to participate, please inquire about financial aid with the directors. This is for you parents, but the kids can't hog all the fun. There are tons of ways to get involved with the band and support our kids' experience. Every outstanding band has an outstanding parent group behind them. It is an essential element to the team culture and creates an environment where the students feel valued and supported by the people they love the most. There are various needs that we have, and I'm going to briefly go through each one here and talk a little bit about it. Starting with uniform fitting and maintenance. So as you can see in one of the photos there, we have our band uniforms, and we have to take really good care of them. And by taking good care of them, they last many, many years to come. And we do that by using a team of parents that are able to help with alterations and sewing and making sure that all the students are fit to look their best when we start into the competition season. Driving trucks and trailers. When we go to all of our events, we carry our equipment in the large trailers. So we need volunteers to pick up the rental trucks and hitch them up to our trailers and be able to load and assist with that process. It's a lot of fun. You get to go with us to all the events and be a part of the action. Photography. This is a big one that all these photos that you see here are all taken by our band photographer volunteers. And that's how we really capture these memories and make sure that everybody gets to look back on the season and reflect and hold them hopefully for the rest of their lives. Meals coordination and serving. So as was mentioned before with the season meal plan that all of our students have, so all of the football games and some of the competitions, we provide meals for all the 100 students in the band. And that takes a little bit of coordination. And that means, reaching out, being able to set up the meal ahead of time, picking up the logistics and delivering it to make sure the students are able to eat and fit on their schedule. So that is also another opportunity. And then we also have the serving of the meals. We definitely need people to help serve the meals, get through all those kids as fast as we can, and make sure that we can stick to our itineraries and our schedules. Another area where we can always use volunteers is prop construction and maintenance. This varies each year, depends on the needs of the show and the needs of the performance. But if you're handy with a drill and a saw and all that, and you want to get in there and help, maybe painting, you name it, we definitely need help in that area. And it's a lot of fun, and you get to have this personal attachment to that product that's out there on the field that that you helped work to build for our students. Another real big spot for us is the concessions. Ever since the school opened at Perry, we've been fortunate enough as a band booster organization to have 100% of all the football concessions at all of the games. Now, that's also a huge responsibility, but it is also one of the largest sources of our revenue for the booster program, and allows them to be able to provide the things that they currently do. This is an area we are still currently reaching out, for people that are interested in possibly taking lead roles in this. It is definitely not something that you would do together. It would be a team role. But if that's something that interests you, you also want to reach out to us. Equipment setup and tear down, that has to do with our equipment crew, also known as the front ensemble crew there. And a lot of times we have all these big instruments and things that we have to get onto the field really quickly. So if we have a 10-minute window to get onto the field, in that 10 minutes, we have to get all the equipment out there, all the props, the students do their performance, but they have to quickly get off the field. So we definitely need extra bodies there to help with the setting up of the show, setting up of the props, and making sure that everything is ready for the students when they take that field. And lastly, another area of volunteer needs is fundraising. When it comes to fundraising, we don't do a ton of selling fundraisers. I mean, occasionally we do, but most of our fundraising comes from large events or coordinated events. In the past, we've hosted marching band competitions, and we've also hosted Winter Guard competitions at our school. And we hope to continue to do that on an annual basis. And that's a big place for us where we all need to come together, be able to commit some time and make that happen for our students. Again, also for the health of our booster organization and for the benefit of our students. Moving on to the forms. Here are the forms necessary to participate in marching band. So starting with the first one, these are all due the first day of band camp. The first one is the 2020-21 AIA physical form. Students are required to have a comprehensive athletics physical completed prior to participating in band. And you can do this easily by going to an urgent care or local clinic, or if you already have a family practitioner, they'll all offer this service. You just say that you need a sports physical or an athletics physical. There's usually a small fee to get it done, but it's good for the entire year. And if you try out for any other sports that school year, that physical is valid for all of those activities. The next form is the medical consent form. This form is a document that allows you to put key medical information on us that's only for the directors. That just makes us aware of whether or not the student has allergies, medications, any unknown conditions, things like that, and authorize us to deliver any sort of over-the-counter medications, such as Tylenol or ibuprofen, things of that nature. And the last thing is the pageantry performance contract. The pageantry performance contract just outlines all of our policies in greater detail, and requires you to sign off and make sure that both the parent and the student, to make sure that everybody understands all aspects of that contract and what the commitment truly entails. Links to all these forms are down in the description, and they must be physically printed out and signed and turned in at band camp. Communication is the key to efficiency for large organizations. We have worked to streamline these channels so that nobody misses a beat. Mr. Sampayan is going to share our communication methods with you. So I will turn it over to Mr. Sampayan.
Hi, everyone. So this year, we're going to try a new platform. In the past, we have used Slack. We've used Microsoft Teams with varying efficiencies, and we don't want to fall victim to shiny object syndrome. So we've been testing out this new app. Some of you have already signed up for it. I've been seeing you. We're going to be using the Band app this year. with everyone in the program. There are 2 links in the description you can go sign up for. The first one is going to take you to our announcements channel. This is largely a one-way communication stream, which is kind of taking the place of our email communication. As we have asked for feedback about all of our communications, one of the largest things I hear is communication through email is really slow. They wish they had saw it 30 minutes ago, and then now something came up and the information is just a little bit too late. So we're going to be using the Band app. It's on your phone. You can access it through the browser as well. If you see the QR code, you can scan that right now and you can sign up for the announcement channel. The Regiment channel is in the description. You'll have to grab that one manually. You can also invite your friends once you're there. So if you are struggling with technology, help each other out. Some of the cool things that we've learned, because we've been using this with the leadership team, you can kind of see on the screenshots there. You can take polls. The calendar is integrated right into the app, so you don't have to go find our website, go back and forth between different things. We're trying to really bring everything into one area, so it's really hard to miss things. So give the Band app a shot, and if you sign up in there, I'll be checking it out. If you have questions, post something in the chat. I'm monitoring, by the way, and I will help you out the best I can. I'm going to toss it back over to Keesgan for the rest of this communication bit.
All right. Hello again, everyone. In regards to staying connected, so Mr. S just talked about the Band app. Thank you very much. And like he said, again, trying to streamline it. And I feel like, or we have felt that, again, emails have become less and less pertinent, or they get buried among many hundreds of other things. So we're, again, trying to streamline that into this one place. The current things that we still have are still going to integrate into that, so you shouldn't see much of a difference there. So the other big thing is the Google Calendar. It's the central source for all events and itineraries. We post them right into the event. So when you click the event, all the itineraries right there that shows you the by the minute details of everything that's going on, whether it's call time, dismissal, when our performance times are, etc. All of the different groups are separated on the calendar app. So if let's say your student's not in color guard and they don't need to be in, they don't have to use the color guard calendar if it's not relevant to them, for example. The other thing that we're using, and what we've been using and we're continuing to use, is Sign Up Genius. That's where all of our volunteering stuff that was mentioned earlier is placed in there. So if we need so many concessions positions filled, and we need trailer drivers and truck drivers and uniform parents and you name it, it's all going to show up in the Sign Up Genius. And then from there, you're able to sign up, see who else has signed up, find what slots work for you. You can pick a time. If that something comes up, you can withdraw yourself. There's all these different things that you can do. It'll remind you of upcoming events that you signed up for, so on and so forth. And then lastly is our weekly newsletter. And this is, as was mentioned with the Band app, this would always come out via email on Sundays. Well, with our email going away as one of our primary forms of communication, the newsletter will still be there to kind of summarize and highlight our most recent performances and events, and tell you what's coming up most immediately. And that'll still go out every week. It'll just be through the Band app. It'll still be a weekly update, if you will. All right, moving on. The student leadership and staff members are crucial to the ensemble growth. Student leaders get a chance to take ownership and responsibility over the culture and performance of their team. The staff members deliver skilled instruction so that our students can unlock their full potential. Here's our 2021 leadership team, starting with the drum majors: Hallie Johansson, Megan Mansfield, and Bailey Warren. Also, these are also in alphabetical order. Section leaders. First, with our woodwind caption. The woodwind caption is kind of when the group, as an entire woodwind section, comes together to rehearse, is the one that's kind of coordinating that, and that is Gabe Hammond. For the woodwind section leaders, for flute, we have Allison Chia, clarinet, Crystal Gill, alto saxophone, Callie Floyd and Tanner Shell, tenor saxophone, Brody Richards, and Barry saxophone, Maddie Nasir. For the brass caption, we have Kalea Watson. The trumpets, we have Andon Bibby and Maddie Woods. Baritones, we have Robert Hughes and Kalea Watson. And for tuba, we have Noemi Sanchez and Kelsey Bluester. For mellophone, we have Seth Trawick. For the front ensemble percussion, we have Piper Lloyd and Will Policastro. Battery, Frankie McAllister and Cameron McComb. And color guard, Derek Fernandez and Caitlin Salenga. For our 2021 instructional staff, we have the directors, myself, Mr. Kiesgen, and Mr. Sampayan. And most of our staff is returning. We do have a few new staff members joining us this year. Our visual instructor, Brandon Cole Morgan. Our guard caption head, Mackenzie O'Toole. And guard instructors, Kayla Morgan, Ian Crosby, and Andreas Hinogiante. Percussion caption head is Stephen Bosick. Front ensemble, CJ Powell and Shane Finucane. Basses, Olivia Ataya. Snares, Nick McGregor and Josh Matarazzo. And tenors, Gavin Rodrigo. These are some of the most common questions that we get every year. Is it too much work or time commitment for a freshman? Participating in any extracurricular activity will be a time commitment. However, data doesn't support the myth that marching band is any more than those other activities. A lot of sports, they have more practice time, or they practice every day instead of every other day. And it all adds up when you add the games and the things. Activities all take up a lot of time, anything that's worth its while. Marching band has a way of helping the students become more organized and better managers of their time because of the large time commitments. So don't let that be a discouragement at all when considering being a part of the marching band. Can a student quit at any time? The short answer is definitely please don't. The long answer, I'm sure you can mostly read there, but if I need to sum it up, the big thing is that everybody matters in band. I can't say the same always for sports teams. If someone's injured, there's somebody ready to run in. Or if you have a line of 10 performers, and then you can bring in a whole new line of 10 performers to take their place. It doesn't work that way in marching band. Everybody on that field is critical to each other's success. And that's why it is such a huge deal. For the students, I can't count the number of times I've seen students first start and feel like they want to quit or get overwhelmed. But when they stick through it, the rewards they get in the end are huge. And for the parents, same thing for you. It's a new activity. Understanding our student has a big learning curve. All we can ask is that you're being really encouraging. So support them and help them honor their commitment to their peers, the program, and themselves. Is a student required to be in a core performing ensemble to participate in marching band? No, but nearly everyone is, with the exception of color guard. Marching band is only one part of our program, and over 90% of our winds of percussion are also in a core performance class. The students are getting that year-round daily instruction in class and getting the most benefit out of their music education. For wind players, this is the concert band, symphonic band, and jazz band classes. And for the percussion, these are the concert percussion and advanced percussion classes. That is something that is actually new this year. We were able to split the percussion classes into 2 levels. And again, provide different opportunities for everybody incoming into the program. What if I miss rehearsals and camps? This was kind of mentioned before about how important everybody is. And same thing in the other slide. Again, everybody matters. So, and that also goes for rehearsal. When someone's missing in that rehearsal, it then affects the entire rehearsal. If someone is learning where to go on the field and there's not a person there, all of a sudden when the person is there, it changes what that person already learned. So we can see there's a large amount of interdependency among each other in the band. And again, that is why rehearsal, attendance, and everything at all these big events is absolutely critical to our success. It's also a safety thing because we're doing a lot of fast-paced things sometimes. Someone may not know where they're going because they weren't in a rehearsal, and it could cause an injury. So again, it's one of those things that we want to make sure we're supporting each other and not getting in each other's way. Are instruments provided or available for rent? Well, small woodwind instruments like the flutes and clarinets are not provided, and the student has to provide that on their own. We do have very limited quantities of like alto saxophone, tenor saxophone, bari saxophone, those kind of larger instruments, but they're definitely limited in the quantities. Same thing for marching style instruments and those larger instruments. Those are also provided for a $40 rental fee, and that is for the entire year, which is really a steal when you look at instrument rental fees. So that $40 rental fee allows the student to use that instrument for the entire year. This also includes percussion too. They're playing on school instruments, keyboard players, things like that. All right, and now the moment you've all been waiting for.
All right.
All right. Yeah, that was awesome. All right. And there you have it, the 2020 Puma Regiment production of When You Wish. I'm sure you heard some familiar melodies in there. Stars are the central thematic idea and features the melodies of Disney, The Greatest Showman, The Space Between Us, and Coldplay. The music arrangement provides many opportunities to showcase different soloists and all the different captions of the band. We believe that this show will highlight all of our best talents and qualities. The music is ready for distribution and will be released in June to begin practicing. Oh, oh yes, there is one more thing.
One more. You want to go for it?
Yeah. Well, here you see the original regiment uniforms that began the legacy of the Puma Regiment. Today, we are excited to reveal to you the new look of the Perry High School Puma Regiment.
All right.
We enlisted our graduating Puma Pride Award winners for this super top secret mission and are modeling the actual prototype. The uniforms are in production and are expected to be here for the upcoming season. There's so many great features and improvements over our old uniform. I'm just going to do some of the big highlights. Flexible bibs and the pants. There's elastic in the straps. No more straps, sliding off the shoulders or anything. You're able to kneel down, sit down without busting at the seams. No gauntlets. Those are done. No chains. Another cool feature is removable sleeves. So the sleeves that you see in the image are actually removable. And then we can also wear different colors and different designs of undershirts if we remove the sleeves to create different looks and styles. The fabric and the jackets are lighter weight and breathable. 14-inch plumes over the 10-inch plumes that we currently have. And then the Shako has like a full wrap that can come off and on, and it also changed the look of the Shako. And then lastly, we have a full wraparound removable cape. It's like a half cape, and you can't see it really in the pictures very well, but it does come across the back there into the side cape on the side there. So again, we are really excited about all the opportunities that this uniform is going to give us, not to mention, updating our look and our style while maintaining the traditions of the Perry Band. Thank you again for being a part of this event, and we are very excited to continue the legacy of the Perry High School Puma Regiment with you. The stream will be rewatchable at the conclusion of the event. Be sure to check out the final screen for your to-do list and links below in the description. Section leaders will be reaching out to members soon, so stay tuned. Good night, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.